Well, hello from Cambridge. I recently did a webinar for the Marketing Accountability Standards Board of the United States, and I thought it was worth sharing. I've done a re-edit, and I hope you enjoy this. It lasts about 30 minutes, but I think it's worth watching. Enjoy. Beyond the black hole, quantifying and leveraging brand value in financial reporting. In a very 2020s manner, I used AI to come up with this title for a MASB webinar. And Gemini did a fair job. It has expressed pretty well what I wanted to talk about. Well done, Gemini. There is a black hole on the accounts of every business, brand financial value. And like every powerful energy source, it can be enormously destructive. Once quantified, however, the energy of brands, once released, can have consequences best described as cosmic. Brand energy can power business growth, generate wealth for entire economies, create jobs, drive careers, and carry marketing to the boardroom. Quantifying brand value is what MASB is now all about. But no source of energy is of any value unless put to work. It has to be leveraged. So the next step is leveraging, and it is on leveraging I will focus for the rest of this webinar. But before addressing that issue, I hope you'll bear with me as I address a serious threat, a threat to this marketing community to which we practitioners and educators all belong. As Oliver Cromwell wrote in his famous letter to the General Assembly of the Kirk of Scotland, I beseech you in the bowels of Christ, think that you may be mistaken. And a lot of mistakes are being made in the marketing community. Marketing itself is in deep trouble. Marketing is universally undervalued, particularly by the all-powerful financial community. Chief marketing officers are shut out of the boardroom where the big decisions are made, and now AI is threatening the careers and livelihood of every marketing practitioner and every marketing educator everywhere. To coin a word much bandied around in the 21st century, the threat to the marketing community, and indeed marketing itself, is existential. We all have work to do, but there is one way in which marketing educators could help. Marketing courses are seldom focused on solving the major problems of practitioners. We still live in a relentless and desperately competitive capitalist world. Here money remains the final arbiter, and asset growth is the holy grail. Education often skirts around this uncomfortable reality. Okay, marketing education generates certification. That may well get graduates into jobs. A marketing degree looks very good on a CV. But our courses offer little support for graduates in doing the marketing job and doing it effectively. Doing it where it matters, in the eyes of employers and in the eyes of their paymasters, investors, shareholders and analysts. And education gives even less support in promoting a career which takes marketers into the boardroom. The proof is in the pudding. We marketers aren't in the boardroom and we aren't getting there. In education and training, curriculum design is partially at fault. Pretty much every marketing and training course we run understates the importance of brand management. Developing skills as a builder of value is key to any career culminating in access to the boardroom. For a marketing manager, developing skills as a builder of brand financial asset value is key to their access to the boardroom. But over there, where marketing education and training is done, brand management often lurks in a corner of the curriculum, relegated to a module or two out of many. The key to our craft being taken seriously, from boardroom to Wall Street, is parked in a corner of the marketing syllabus. The marketing tail is wagging the brand management dog, and that is a huge distortion. In practice, marketing is a toolkit we practitioners use to build valuable brands for shareholders and other brand owners. While we continue to teach that marketing is the end and brand building the means, we mislead students and we debase the work of every marketing practitioner and every marketing educator. To all those who have influence over curriculum design, on behalf of every marketer, please take heed. Brand building is the end and marketing is the means. a cornucopia of sophisticated tools for building value, but just that, tools. And that ends the scolding of marketing education. You may come down off the naughty step. And anyway, rehabilitation of marketing needs more than a refocusing of education. We all need to revisit what we are doing. We members of the marketing community need a reset in our thinking and actions, all of us. Brand management must take centre stage. In our own vernacular, brand marketing is sorely in need of a relaunch. So this webinar will be an exhortation to all of us to grasp the opportunity presented by MASB, to leverage its work and interrogate marketing best practice as to how we may best do that. I know what many of you are thinking. Who is this self-appointed arbiter of what is right and wrong with marketing, this elderly marketing evangelist? You're entitled to ask, who is he to stand in the company of marketing scholars and teachers like David Acker and Kevin Lane Keller? Okay, I do have an MA from an ancient university, but it's not in marketing, it's in law. I have done some late life university study, research and lecturing on marketing, and I have even published one journal article, A Practice-Based Model of Effective Marketing, based on an autoethnographical observation of brand management training at Procter & Gamble, P&G. The model was highly practical and long overdue. It also made me very proud, but sadly it has attracted scant attention in academia, as indeed have some 400 short videos on my YouTube channel, grandiosely presented as the Cambridge Institute of Marketing Practice. All my personal stuff has one worthy aim: to carry marketing best practice into classrooms, encourage research into centuries of marketing practice, foment careers in marketing, and promote a paradigm shift in marketing scholarship to one of absolute brand centricity, which fits comfortably with the brand valuation work I do with Prescient. So I do bring a different and relevant perspective to the task in hand. But of extreme relevance to our brand building project, I have managed a very large number of brands, over 50 brands in 50 years, in several companies and several countries. Every brand was managed as a discrete standalone business. Every brand was a profit center. Every brand was managed to benefit the shareholder, the brand owner. I haven't kept a record of the numbers, but sales of my brands, startups and mature, certainly exceeded $500 million in today's currency, and ROI was always good, or I would not have lasted the course. I have indeed made a lot of money for a lot of brand owners. I have also sat in the boardrooms, from which almost every marketer is excluded. So to further MASB's mission to bring about a brand-centric business world and get CMOs into the boardroom, I think I have a contribution to make. And if that is an ad for Brand Me, I would like to follow it with an ad for Brand MASB. I'm not alone in owing MASB a debt of gratitude. We all do. MASB is making a major contribution to global economic growth, to wealth creation, job creation, and management career development. There are many hard-working people with MASB who should take a bow. Let's interrogate that pronouncement about global economic growth and wealth creation for a moment. I find 3 interesting statements of MASB mission drawn from the web. This one was offered to me by Google AI too, my friend Gemini again. The Marketing Accountability Standards Board has a mission to establish marketing measurement and accountability standards across industries and domains for continuous improvement in financial performance and for the guidance and education of business decision makers and users of performance and financial information. Not to improve just one company's financial performance, but financial performance globally, all industries and domains. That is all. Continuous, not just for a while, continuously. And many people will benefit, not just marketers. Business decision makers and users of performance and financial information will be better informed and make better decisions. That is a lot of managers. and marketing practitioners in particular will benefit. MASB seeks to elevate the CMO to their rightful place in the boardroom by making marketing accountable. Now, that is no easy task. We know that marketing should sit at the center of the decision-making process. After all, marketing is the generator of long-term income. But in the real world, marketers and marketing are still light years away from the main board. Marketing and marketers are not going to get an invitation. They are going to have to fight our way in. And MASB is forging the weapon essential to getting in. The financial value of brands is the key. Their mission is to create a framework where marketing investments can be linked to tangible financial returns, demonstrating the value of brands. This involves developing methods for measuring and analyzing the financial value of brands. I call that BCV, brand cash value, but it is exactly the same. And there we have it in a nutshell. Shareholders own the business, shareholders own its brands, the board must grow the shareholders' assets. Brand financial value is a sleeping asset of enormous potential. Brand financial value is seldom measured. Only marketers can build brand value, but only with measured brand value can marketers go to work, build financially valuable brands, make shareholders smile, and enter boardrooms. Financial value is the black hole of this webinar. Until we can measure it, marketing stays outside the boardroom. Until brand financial value can be measured, value cannot be purposely built. Until marketers can purposely build it, there is no passkey to the door. But with the key in hand, marketing can take its seat at the top table. MASB is cutting the key to the door. MASB, take a bow. In the words of that great TV series, The Great Huzzah for MASB. But MASB's work alone is not enough. The whole marketing community has to get together to relaunch brand marketing. Practitioners and educators together have to become advocates of the value of marketing to business. And we all have to embrace the reality of commercial life, because we still live by the Darwinian code of capitalism. Competition is fierce, only the fit survive. Like it or not, the gods of Wall Street are our gods. In an old English saying, he who pays the piper calls the tune. The investor pays the piper. The investor calls the tune. The board pipes the tune demanded by the shareholder, the business owner, the owner of all the assets of the company, the brand owner. And the marketer, every member of the marketing community, must play the tune called by the board and shareholders. The tune is asset value building. Brands are valuable assets. No one plays the brand building tune better than marketers. In fact, marketers are the only players who can play the financial brand value tune. But right now, marketing doesn't deserve a place in the boardroom. We marketers are at this moment our own worst enemies. We cannot agree on what marketing is for and what constitutes effective marketing. The absence of universal agreement on the nature and purpose of marketing is an elephant in the room of marketing scandalously ignored by practitioners, scholars, and professional bodies such as the American Marketing Association and the Chartered Institute of Marketing. Practitioners pay little heed to academics. Academics do not talk to practitioners. As managers of brand marketing, we are at best mediocre. We have to stand tall and we have to boast. I would like to revisit David Acker's story of Sir Christopher Wren because it frames the problem and it hints at the solution. That great architect of St. Paul's Cathedral in London observed stonemasons chipping away at stones in the streets of a Restoration London gutted by the Great Fire of 1666. "What are you dudes up to?" asks Sir Chris. "Carving stones," says stonemason number 1. "Making bricks," says stonemason number 2. "Sure," says stonemason number 3. "Sure, I'm carving stones. I too am making bricks. But I am building a cathedral." Like two stonemasons, we see ourselves as chipping away at stones, and that is our horizon. Asked what are you doing, O marketing practitioner, we answer we're doing marketing plans, we're data mining, we're looking after customers, we're boosting clicks, crafting a website, exploiting social media. And you, educator, scholar, researcher, lecturer, writer, curriculum designer, professor, what are you doing? Well, I'm lecturing on marketing, I'm tutoring marketing students, etc., doing research, supervising, consulting, providing a useful education in marketing, guiding the crafting of brand equity. Does any one of us answer, I am creating wealth, jobs, careers, I'm contributing to a better world, I'm also making shareholders very happy? Or does any one of us marketing educators answer, I am helping to teach aspiring marketers to craft something of lasting value, great brands. I'm inspiring future marketers to build for shareholders, brand owners. Okay, Amazon isn't Notre Dame. Google isn't Chartres. Coca-Cola isn't Cologne. Pampers isn't Canterbury. And McDonald's certainly isn't St. Patrick's. But brands and cathedrals are built to last and can do so for hundreds of years. Brands and cathedrals are built brick by brick, stone by stone, impact by impact, click by click. And brands and cathedrals are of immense value to their myriad stakeholders. Value for customers, consumers, users, voters, patients, donors, of course, but one category of stakeholder is all too often overlooked, and that omission is above all what is keeping marketers outside the boardroom door. We overlook the investor who funds the project, puts up the stake, which makes the whole thing possible. The all-powerful medieval church, its popes, bishops, cardinals, and lesser prelates, its townspeople, and their modern equivalent, the brand owner, the shareholder. Few of us think much about the brand owner, and we should, we must. We are building cathedrals, we are building valuable brands, for consumers, for customers, but above all, for brand owners, for shareholders. If we are to open the door to the boardroom, we must stand tall, we must be proud, and we must think of brand owners. But we must act. We must act to leverage MASB findings, and there we switch directly to the main theme of this discussion, leveraging. Left as it is, that unquantified black hole is currently cloaking the efforts of everyone actively engaged with marketing, leaving ambitions unfulfilled, careers stunted, and recognition withheld from hundreds and thousands of marketing practitioners, students, and scholars across the globe. That black hole is sucking the life out of marketing itself. The billions of dollars of cash value already accumulated globally in brands is a reality. The potential to grow this gold under the floorboards with better, more effective marketing is also a reality. Marketing scholars know it, marketing practitioners know it, investors know it, even accountants know it. The sums of money are vast, and so is the potential for putting that money to work. The first steps are clear. The brand value must be measured, marketers must stand tall and value what they are doing. Potential can only be realized when we get to work, when we leverage MASB's work on measuring brand financial value. How do we leverage MASB's extraordinary work on the black hole? How do we put its energy to work and build brands of value to consumers, customers and other stakeholders, but always shareholders? And how do we teach others to build brands of financial value? Well, that comes in two steps. First, we have to agree what we're trying to achieve. And secondly, we have to provide all the help we can to every marketer in doing it well. In fact, we need help with both steps. The first challenge is to agree on what we're trying to achieve. Securing that agreement should be easy, but it isn't. Marketers are not good at agreeing anything, maybe too many creatives and too many free spirits. We don't even have an agreed definition of marketing itself, what it is and what it's for, and therefore what constitutes effective marketing. Until that widespread agreement, we are nowhere in doing the business. We need help already in fixing this one, but fortunately help is at hand. Let's start with Bernard of Chartres and Sir Isaac Newton. Bernard the monk gave us encouragement which works as well today as when he beavered away in his monastic cell about 1150 AD. We are like dwarfs standing on the shoulders of giants, and we can see more and farther than they, not because of the sharpness of our sight or the height of our stature, but because we are carried aloft and elevated by the giant's might. And the great Isaac Newton. If I have seen further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. And even marketers have giants to guide us. Kotler, Keller, Acker, for sure, whose books most of us will have read and which sit on my bookshelf over there. Everyone has their giants, and I have a few of my own to add. Michael Baker, Peter Doyle, Malcolm MacDonald. Above all, I stand on the shoulders of the marketing giants at P&G, all teachers with whom I interacted during 16 years from 1966 to 1982, or continue to follow since. Norman Levy, Gibby Carey, John Pepper, Trevor Clark, Richardson McKinney, Alan Lafley, twice CEO of Procter, and the man described as the most powerful marketer in the world today, Mark Pritchard, Chief Marketing Officer of P&G. It is standing on these shoulders that has given me the confidence, or old-fashioned cheek, to sit here across the pond and pontificate to an audience of giants, and in your own field, giants you undoubtedly are today. Why the experience and know-how of just one firm? Why P&G? A few facts about Procter & Gamble. P&G is justly credited with inventing modern marketing in the late 1800s. P&G introduced brand management as a named discipline in 1931, with the appointment of Neil McElroy as the world's first brand manager. The company was voted in 1999 Marketer of the 20th Century unanimously by the editorial board of Advertising Age. Every P&G brand is managed as a discrete business and profit center. For brand building, P&G is the first stop to go for brand building expertise. To quote Pritchard again, P&G is a company of brands. We build consumer-preferred brands and products that create value for consumers, customers, and shareholders. So we have giants on whose shoulders we can stand. To build brands over 50 years, I have stood on the shoulders of P&G giants, and I invite every marketer to join me there, to do marketing well. Together, let's find a path to marketing excellence. Dr. Johnson famously said to Boswell, "Like a dog's walking on its hind legs, it is not done well, but you are surprised to find it done at all." Doing marketing is not enough. Our marketing must be done well. Brands must be well managed. Brands must drive income and profits. Brand financial value must be created, and for brand owners. So, to helping every marketer build brand value, to leverage MASB's work. A real-life scenario. Let us consider ourselves for a moment suddenly appointed brand managers of Brand X. We know little of building brand financial value, but brand managers have to hit the ground running. In essence, we must understand what we are trying to achieve, why and how. Our prime objective is to build brand financial value because that is what the shareholder wants. So we need a framework for action, we must set objectives, and we must prioritize. What follows are just two aids of universal application. A graphic model of marketing effectiveness to put everything in perspective, and a framework, a checklist, an acronym for action. Any brand manager can use them to hit the ground running, set broad objectives and priorities. First, the model of effective marketing. The model of effective marketing describes the process in which brand value is built, and every brand manager should be familiar with this universally valid model. The model begins with a brand, since our entire proposition is that to be effective, marketing must build value, and the value resides in a brand. It must all begin with a brand. Every brand has an owner. It is the owner's investment. An owner will seek to grow the value of investments. To grow the value of this investment, the owner of the asset will employ a manager. To grow an intangible asset, such as a brand, the owner will employ a marketer. We might choose to call this figure a brand manager. The marketer selects tools from the comprehensive range of the marketing toolkit and deploys them to build, influence, mold, to the perception of the brand, the value it is perceived to have for its customers, consumers, voters, donors, patients, etc., all the stakeholders in the brand. The task of the marketer is to ensure that the brand is perceived by its target audience as solving their daily problems, answering their needs, supplying their wants, better than any competing brand. If the brand is perceived as doing precisely that, then and only then will the brand be rewarded with the loyalty of the consumer, etc. The goal of the marketer is to secure loyalty to the brand, which in turn bestows value on the brand, and that value returns to the account of the owner. The owner of a brand with value has an asset which may be further built or turned to advantage in cash, votes, further donations, and other manifestations of the goodwill created by the marketer. The whole process is one continuum of marketing effectiveness, building brand value to the account of its owner. Note one thing: the key tools are product design and promotion. Better thought of as communication, but essentially the two P's that matter: what the brand is as a product and how it is perceived or promoted in the way it is advertised or communicated through message content. Turning to the framework, the acronym, the SWOT framework checklist, is designed to focus the brand manager on essential objectives and a pathway to achieving them. Ronald Reagan is known for saying to his staffers, "When you're up to your armpits in alligators, it is easy to forget you came to drain the swamp." A brand manager must never forget the swamp that he or she must drain. SWOT can help keep the eye on that ball. There is a necessary prequel, of course, to SWOT. First, you must identify the brand owner, the brand target user, consumer, customer, the competition, and what makes you, your brand, special and different. S is for set objectives, always financial, always loyalty, because loyalty is the prerequisite for asset value building. W for weaponize your brand with a strategy of differentiation. David Acker touched on that in his webinar, and Michael Porter said there are only two viable strategies for a business: to be low cost or different. The brand manager knows that the first won't last. The brand must be different and must be seen to be different. A is for advertise, deliberately in lowercase. No, not conventional advertising, not TV spots or billboards, but communication of the message is essential. And, of course, act, to be different, be the difference that you say you are. Be true, deliver always. T is for track progress against objectives, financial, of course, and loyalty. There is a device for setting loyalty objectives and measuring progress on a ladder from ignorance to loyalty. It's based on Dagmar, which you may know, and I'm working on one which will work for non-commercial brand building for politics, health, and other not-for-profit firms. There's quite a bit of work behind SWOT, but no time to dig here. Let's leave it at that. SWOT is a framework for effective brand building which anyone might find useful. If I were to choose one takeaway from this session, it would be that, like the Roman god Janus, the god of doors, a brand faces in two directions: towards its users, consumers, employees, donors, voters, etc., of course, but the brand faces in another direction, towards its owner, the shareholder. Only if this latter stakeholder smiles will the brand's value and that of the marketer be recognized. MASB is working to measure the financial value of a brand, and MASB is not alone. The weapon already has many suppliers, so all we marketers have to do is reach for the weapon, identify the value, build the financial value of a brand, make the shareholder smile, and the boardroom beckons. Finally, as we build our cathedrals, we should do so with hope. Marketers have a great future. AI cannot do what brand managers can do. Many services and many specialist people go into building a brand. They are shown on this slide. And we are the ringmasters. We have to interact with a lot of other humans. And above all, we are creative as well as methodical. Shakespeare said of the poet in his great speech, "The lunatic, the lover, and the poet," and as imagination bodies forth the forms of things unknown, the poet's pen turns them to shapes and gives to airy nothing a local habitation and a name. It will be a long time, if ever, before AI can turn the fruit of human imagination to shapes and give a local habitation and a name to a brand. Especially to a brand, and especially one which makes shareholders smile. Human marketers may stand tall. This building is only for you. You are needed.